Hi, I'm Dawn, and welcome to my new series, From the Spark, where I talk about my experiences from the start of my spiritual journey via a twin flame path to where I am now. And some of this is common for many twin flames, some of it may not be. So, as with any twin flame information, just use your own judgment, take what rings true for you. So, first, let me define spiritually awakening. When we become aware, and this is my own definition, that there is something more than what we're here in the 3D physical plane experiencing with our senses, we become more aware of something there, or beyond that. We tend to get rid of, old habits or relationships, job, things that don't serve us, that don't fulfill us, and it's usually because we feel like something is missing, and so we open ourselves to fulfillment through that something beyond what we sense. Okay, so what are twin flames? So, full disclosure, I'll start by saying my twin was just going to be a hookup. We met through a dating app. We briefly chatted and exchanged pics, and then we met the next day. And upon meeting my twin, I experienced the extremely noticeable sensations of touch, tasting his kiss, his body, hearing his voice, and looking into his eyes. And it's like everyone talks about, the eye contact is very, it's unusual. And it was like, for me, I remember looking at him in such a way, like I was trying to figure out what I was seeing at first. And I even journaled after he left, that it was like I could see his soul, that I could see his capacity to love, his depth. And those were my exact words. So it was kind of funny to me, when I went back later after I came to realize or believe that I was experiencing this as a twin flame. And, but, he also told me that he loved the way I touched him and kissed him. And also, I experienced slowed time. And I think that those were astral experiences that I had with him during our soul recognition and also during a reunion. But another thing is, within 24 to 48 hours, the obsessive thinking that you hear probably more than anything else that twin flames experience, that started for me, telling me things, but also his enthusiasm, it just showed. So we have some distance between us. And also, we have, because of that, we had trouble meeting again. But also, I came to suspect that he had other relationship obligations, but I don't know this for sure. But he kept calling me. We kept making plans to get together, but they kept falling through. Like, he called me every morning for the first week asking if he could come see me that day. But then it didn't happen for different reasons. And it was obvious to me that he really wanted to, but it frustrated me to no end. And by the end of the week, I blocked him because, for one thing, I felt like I was losing my mind with the obsessive thinking, just constantly jabbing at my brain. And, it's like, what am I even thinking about this person? There were no real thoughts occurring. It was just, he was there. I felt like I was losing my mind. And I thought if I blocked him, that it would help shut out the thoughts and that the thinking would eventually pass, that it would all just pass. And a few days after that, when it had not passed, it had not stopped at all, I had to find out why I was not able to stop thinking about him. And so, of course, the first thing I did was I went to Google search and typed, why can't I stop obsessively thinking about a random guy I met? So, twin flames may be defined differently by others. Most people would agree that there's usually a lot of somewhat unacceptable societal differences like race, age, culture. Um, Me and my twin, we have a 17-year age gap almost to the day. One of the first things I read was that twin flames are the same soul in two bodies. Some people define it as a split soul, and I don't really like those words at all, actually. Usually meaning the soul is in two bodies, but with one being of divine feminine energy and the other is of divine masculine energy. And as soon as I began opening myself to the journey, I received a vision that helped me understand what I was experiencing. And not only did it confirm to me that I wasn't making things up or buying into the fad that I didn't realize was such a fad at the time, but it showed me better than anyone could have explained it. Because at first I had trouble grasping what it is to share your soul. I thought things like, he's what I would be like if I had been born in his body and in his circumstances. So when people say it's split, it makes me think half and half. But that's not the case, even though some people do believe that too. My vision showed me we are the whole soul. We're not divine feminine and divine masculine in one and in the other. We are the whole soul, both twins embody all of that divine energy. And I talk about that in more detail in this video if you're interested. So I kept getting this pointed out to me, and one of my earlier videos involved me changing the way I use the terms divine feminine, divine masculine, because they're almost always referred to as the two counterparts. And I've also heard the counterparts referred to as the matrix twin and the spiritual twin, but that's not always the case either. Some people are not at all spiritual before they're awakened, and also the matrix twin is not always in the matrix. Once they begin ascension, they become more spiritual, or at least they'll open to it if they weren't already, even though they'll still likely be the more grounded twin. Also, some people, usually YouTube tarot readers, in my experience, doing collective readings was where I would come across this because it was part of my obsessive behavior in the earlier days. But they would say things like, the divine masculine is wanting to make contact, or the divine masculine is wondering who you're with. And then they would say, that's their 5D self. Now let's look at the 3D. Wait, what? As if things weren't confusing enough. So I came up with feminine intern, FI, and masculine intern, or MI, because these terms refer to the 3D people and can be at any time, such as before or after awakening, in the matrix or not, experiencing ascension or activation, which many call running and chasing. So I want to show you something similar to what I shared in my first video in my Soul Spark series, and it was titled Knowing You Are One Soul with Your Twin Flame. And I had done a reading a few nights prior to the vision, and I had drawn this card, and it was in the reverse position, and it's the reverse Two of Wands from the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. But this was the recreation of my vision in the reverse position, the Two of Wands, and there was a ball of light between the two wands, and the colors of the chakra from the top to the bottom are represented, and the lines going across the card are representing the balanced energy. And I don't read traditionally, not usually. So this was how I had read this card, that there were the two physical bodies, and that they were balancing their energy throughout their chakras, and that it was shared. So when I got the vision with the light between the two, and especially there, you can see that it starts at the heart chakra and is in the more spiritual chakras. And this is the soul. So this is the painting that I did, and I felt I was led to do the ball of light part this way. And I actually ended up learning a lot later on, and I kept getting referenced by my higher self to look at the painting. So it was really amazing to me that it turned out the way it did without me having known what I was really doing with it. But what does this mean? So I later learned sharing our soul means we both contribute to a shared consciousness, a shared chakra system. Though he has his own chakras and I have mine, we have access to each other through this, and we are eternal. So, and of course we all are as the soul, but we are eternally the one soul. And there are many ways we will experience change as one, which will be talked about in different videos to follow, but as the one soul, as the shared soul. Me aligning with my soul means I'm bringing my physical world to balance with my spiritual essence. And by me doing this, he will do this. So I talk about different physical aspects that align with spiritual aspects here in this video. If you would like to check it out, it's pretty interesting. If I didn't share my soul with this person, then they would be on their merry way as I'm going about my spiritual journey, experiencing ascension. And that happens where some people have a catalyst that awakens them. Then they don't have any further role in their life. They were just a catalyst that comes into their life and somehow awakens them. So that's not a twin flame, though. But, and I can't say that it's true for all twin flame experiencing this, but I believe that we are shown or told that we share our soul, that we are one soul in some way. So there may be a lot of things that happen after meeting someone that resembles a twin flame awakening, but if they are your shared soul, your divine partner, then you will begin a spiritual journey, and they will eventually as well. Though it usually takes time for them to actually awaken to the journey. And for us, I believe the timing of that was divinely planned because I was shown certain things that indicated this. But the main thing that I have always fallen back on when I felt myself in doubt and questioning was that I was shown by my higher self that we share our soul. So please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more. But if you have any questions or comments, please leave that below, and thank you for watching.